Merton's article Bureaucratic Structure and Personality belongs to the neoclassical organization theory perspective, which, more than an organization theory school, was a revision of classical organization theory. Hence, in the aforementioned work, first published in 1940, Merton analyzes the effects of formal, rationally organized social structures as the one described in Weber's ideal type bureaucracy on the personality of the people working on such organizations. Merton discovered that bureaucratic organizations clearly defined patterns of activity functionally related to the organization's purposes and, thus, originally conceived as means to achieve such purposes, develop over time into ends for the people who work in the organization. In other words, bureaucrats grow a strict devotion to their organization's rules. Paradoxically, such devotion ultimately prevents the organization they work for from being optimally efficient. In Merton's view, bureaucrats' commitment to their organization's rules results of the constant pressure exerted by the organization upon the official to act according to prescribed patterns of action. Such pressure can be explained in turn because the successful operation of bureaucratic organizations depends heavily on such disciplined behaviors. Actually, the organization infuses the bureaucrats with sentiments more intense than is technically necessary, until conformance with regulations becomes a value in itself for the employees. Furthermore, it is no surprise that the observance of the organization's rules becomes even a sacred matter to the bureaucrat because his official life is planned for him in terms of a graded career through the organizational devices of promotion by seniority, pensions, incremental salaries, etc., all of which are designed to provide incentives for disciplined action and conformity to the official regulations, as writes Merton. Also, because so much in the life of the bureaucrat depends on the observance of these rules, the group rejects any action on the part of a member that does not follow the organization's rituals. An example given by Merton is the way bureaucrats disapprove the substitution of personal for impersonal treatment within the structure. Merton contends that members of the organization regard such threats to the organization's continuity as intrusions of primary group attitudes when secondary group attitudes are institutionally demanded. Moreover, Merton suggests that the epithets used by the group to refer to such transgressions to the organization's rules, like favoritism or nepotism, are manifestations of the bureaucrat's injured sentiments. And this proves how the goals of the organization become, indeed, deeply ingrained in the bureaucrat's personality. The adherence to an impersonal treatment prescribed by the organization's rules also manifests in the conflicts that arise between the organization's workforce and its clientele, as the former adhere to such impersonal terms of interaction, whereas the latter desire and demand a more personal, individualized consideration of their particular cases. In any event, Merton believes that the most salient dysfunction of bureaucratic structures resulting from the aforementioned effects of such organizational structures in the personality of its employees is that a personnel rigidly adhered to strict procedures may not be fit to tackle problems that come into being under significantly different conditions. This negative aspect of bureaucracy is pointed out by Merton also called trained incapacity, continues to be a timely concern. 74 years after the first publication of Merton's article, bureaucratic organizations continue to fail to respond appropriately under changed conditions, as their actions are rigorously based indeed upon training and skills which have been successfully applied in the past. Proof of this is the fundamental statement in Kettle's book, The Next Government of the United States, namely, that bureaucratically organized governmental institutions of the 20th century, which continue to exist, fail to serve our 21st century needs precisely because their methodical and disciplined responses can be totally inappropriate under changed conditions. In conclusion, overconformity to the rules, the fundamental cause of modern organizations' inefficiency pointed out by Merton, continues to interfere with the achievement of the purposes of today's organizations, which still resemble pretty much Weber's ideal type. Hence, the 21st century challenge is to conceive a new breed of organizations that are able to effectively dispatch our societal needs without affecting the personality of those in the organization and the satisfaction of the public they serve.